Hey guys, we are up here in Santa Fe and we're actually talking about the Coronado Historic Site and a really great research project going on right through these doors. So I'm here with Ethan Ortega, and Ethan, tell us a little bit about this research project that's going on up here in Santa Fe.
So we're here studying the artifacts that were excavated out of Coronado Historic Site, or the ancient village of Coahuila. And most of these things were dug up during the 1930s dig, before our grand opening in 1940. But unfortunately, not many of them have been studied in the last 75 years. And so our goal is to try and better understand them and to make them more accessible to the public by putting them in exhibits and also putting them on our website.
So obviously, Ethan, you got a room full of folks here working. Tell us about these individuals that are helping make this happen.
So we have a ton of people from lots of different organizations. A lot of them are from the Friends of Coronado Historic Site, some from the Albuquerque Archaeological Society and other different groups, and they're all helping us go through this stuff.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of stuff. And so speaking of, you have actually some artifacts over here that were discovered. So tell us some of the featured things here.
So I've tried to lay out some of the more interesting things that we've run across. You never know when you open up a box what you're going to find inside. And sometimes it's just little pieces of pottery like we're looking at out there, but here are some really neat things.
Okay.
Over here on this tray, we have some really cool designs. This is part of a lizard, kind of looks like a horny toad, a horned lizard, and then there's a hand right there. Over here on this tray, we've got a lot of bones, and I pulled out some more interesting ones. Any idea what that may be?
Something from a velociraptor?
Yeah, it could be a big claw. Huh? This is actually a bison horn.
Really?
Okay. Yeah, a big bison. And so are the rest of these. Some bison teeth. And around Albuquerque today, we don't typically see bison running around unless they're in somebody's farm.
Right.
So these might have been trade items. People might have been trading these into the village prehistorically.
Do we know roughly how old these artifacts are?
So anything on this table could be between 500 and 700 years old, depending on what you're looking at.
Wow. Unbelievable.
I do have something else really interesting marked out right here, and this is really special to Albuquerque in particular. This is part of a bowl. Kind of hard to imagine what it might have looked like, but this would have been the inside. And all Pueblo pottery, to make it, they roll out coils and wrap them around. Then they typically smooth the inside and the outside. But in this very unique pottery here from the Albuquerque area, they left the coils exposed on the outside. And then smooth the interior. So this is really unique, this glazed pottery, and is really only found in the Albuquerque area.
Is there a specific reason that they would have done that? Why they would have left this out in particular?
We really don't know, but it's fun to hypothesize. Maybe it was, a particular potter who wanted to, to go against the grain and make something unique. But it definitely wasn't easy to do, to keep those coils in shape while you're working very hard to smooth the inside of the bowl.
So obviously, Ethan, you guys are learning a lot about the Coahuila village that we may not have known before. So tell us some of the things that have been surprising about this. What new things are we learning?
So, it's really looking like the time period that we were thinking people were living in the village is being changed. It's being expanded. And so we think people started moving in earlier and actually moved out probably a little later, closer to the Pueblo Revolt in 1680.
Okay. And what we're looking at here is you've got some now new, we're basically getting like 3D technology and being able to kind of get a virtual version of what this might have looked like. Is that right?
Absolutely. And so, we're collecting all this information from the items, but then that's helping us to digitally recreate the site. And so we've got a really neat map here, and it's compiling all of the information we know about the village, whether it's the field notes, the handwritten and typewritten documents from the 1930s, or artifacts and their photographs. And then from this, we were able to make some 3D models and use a little artistic license and create, a rendering of what the village might have looked like.
Yeah. So if folks at home, if they want to learn more information about what you guys are doing here, and as we continue to develop and discover more about Coronado Historic Site, where do you recommend we go?
So the first place I recommend you going is out to our site. Visit Coronado Historic Site, experience history right where it happened. But you can also visit our website, Coahuila.com. That's KUAUA.com.
So for more information on the research happening here about the Coronado Historic Site, head over to casa.com.